Welcome back, family. Welcome back to What's the Juice at the Juicy Tea, 1111 Energy. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and tapping into the messages. I am truly grateful. I just got a downloaded message. Many of you are being called to now step into your lineage. Your lineage is rooted in spirituality, okay? For many of you, you may have been told something different or raised to believe something different. Hierophant energy here, okay? But you are definitely rooted in spirituality. You are now being called by your ancestors, okay? And it doesn't matter your nationality. Everybody has a spiritual leader in the family who's friendly, Spirit is saying, okay? So you may be the spiritual leader of your lineage, okay? All right. So before we go any further into the message, let's you already know, bring in our protection. I call upon the divine light to surround me. I invite my ancestors, guides, and protectors to stand with me. No lower energy may enter this space. Only what serves truth, healing, and highest good is welcomed here, and so it is. Ashe. Okay. So for many of you, okay, that's interesting, Spirit, really. You may have been raised, okay, that spirituality is wicked, it's bad, it's this, it's that, okay? And that's because the powers that be wanted to make sure they reigned and maintained control over the masses. But spirituality is about choice. Okay. Many denominations, and I'm not talking down about anybody's beliefs, but many denominations have it to where there is no choice. Okay. You either do this or you go to hell type energy. That is not true. For God is a forgiving God. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. God is a forgiving God. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. And then I come back over here and at the bottom of the deck, greed. Okay. So a lot of energies right now, and that was their main thing too, was greed. The divine is saying, spiritual team is saying it was greed. So it was like, ooh, it's that energy of, the nice guy finishing last type energy, right? With this friendly out here versus greed. Huh. Ain't that nothing? Okay. I also feel like, wow, and that was no leverage there. Greed didn't carry leverage. When it came to, and with this friendly energy, what I'm picking up from that is it's not just about being friendly, it's about being kind, compassionate, and not just for yourself but for all. That's why it's friendly versus greedy. I feel like the greedy lost leverage, but as far as we could see it, for the test of time, friendly lost leverage, right? If you were kind, if you were compassionate, if you were thoughtful, if you were mindful, you lost leverage. The times have changed. I heard that. The times have changed. Okay. Tell me about this friendly energy. Somebody could be confessing that should have been the way to go. They may be trying to collaborate now to move towards this energy of kind, compassionate, friendliness versus what they have been doing. Somebody could also be confessing that you're a very friendly type energy, and many may have collaborated against you for greed. Hmm. I see this. What? What? Deceit. Mm. Yep. Somebody could have just, tried to paint you out as being someone who's greedy, and you're far from it, and that was deceitful on their behalf. Because I feel like you're very compassionate, you're kind, you're generous, you're respectful. You're a stellar energy. And people are starting to confess that they collaborated against you for money, deceit, greed. Yeah. And they knew the whole time you were being honest about some things. This may be a group that finally have come to terms with them wanting to be honest with themselves. Yeah. Because they could be the laughing stock right now. Whatever they did to you for leverage didn't work out. Now people are laughing at them. Your spiritual team, your ancestors, the Most High God, the devil is laughing at them. They could also be feeling like if they come clean or if they confess to the deceit, people will laugh at them. All you were doing was venting. They know that they collaborated up against truth. Your venting was honesty. And that was a gift for you, great news for you. That's your gift. Your gift is speaking your truth. And that's great news. A lot of these people may be saying that, they just wanted to brag about it. They wanted to bring you down so they could brag or something like that. They're confessing to collaborating against you so that they could brag. How's that working out for them, family? Because I think right now people are like sitting there looking at you like, ugh. 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 Type energy. Okay. Tell me about this greed and deceit and honesty. Yeah, it was amusing. It was amusing. They had a good old time, okay? They had a good time in this energy. And they're honestly telling you the truth about it, and they found it amusing. They were bragging about it, okay? Laughing about some sort of gift that they may have taken from you, not knowing that was the gift that was given. That gift was given to you by the Most High God. So they can never take anything that was given to you by God. Whatever they received, it's already gone, I just heard. Wow. Okay. Whatever they received, it's already gone. Some sort of plans. Okay. I feel there's some great news when it comes to the plans. Plans pertaining to your life. Getting away from these type of people. I feel like they've heard some great news. That may be why you are filled with laughter. Is because whatever they tried to leverage, it didn't work. Because whatever you vented about, it was a gift from God. You were given it to do. You were given it to do. You were given something to do to get your truths out. A gift. Yeah, because you had a lot to say. Okay, tell me more. Yeah. This was just a distraction, okay? So the great news pertaining to their plans when it came to some sort of distraction, I feel like this has given me the energy of where, people were trying to get you to get off of your path. They wanted you to be distracted, overwhelmed, frustrated, irritated. And that was their great news. That was their plan until it didn't work. Until it didn't work. Okay. Tell me more about that energy. Until it didn't work. So the great news pertaining to some sort of plan to distract you didn't work. Bam, because it was negative. That's why it didn't work. The distractions were negative. And you're an alchemist, so you take negativity and turn it into something good. You always look at the brighter side of things, even though it can look bleak. I promise you. That's what, at the bottom of the deck, that brought in closure. So there was something that was happening, and you saw it for what it was. And this is great news, because it was part of God's plan. The distractions were definitely negative, and they brought closure for you, because you know exactly what you want and need to do now. For whoever this message is resonating with. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Because they showed no empathy. They show no empathy to the circumstance and the situation. They're confessing to this now. That they had no empathy when it came to this deceit. Okay? Or greed. Yeah. They're confessing that it was a sabotage. And they thought it was funny. Mm. 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 Tell me about this collaboration, honesty, and venting. What's this collaboration and honesty, spirit? A status. So they did this for status, and that's the honest to God's truth. Okay. And what's this honesty and venting? Yeah, how's that working out? Because you still who you are. I know they like, ugh. I don't mean to laugh, but do you know, listen, family, just from, and I'm sorry if this is going to be loud. I'm making me some, yep, I cheated. I got me a Coca-Cola. Shoot, I ain't going to lie. I got 4 pops today, okay? Listen, have you ever seen people who come up against you to do so much dirt? And listen, I'm picking up on masculine energy and feminine energy alike. Okay, the masculines are pissed because you're able to do something they thought you'd never do. Okay, and then when they offered their hand to you, you might have turned it down because you was like, nah, I'm good. Then you got the feminine energy that's upset because you've got all these curious energies that are looking at you now, possibly wanting to, wedge you, be with you type energy. But for whatever reason, okay, everything they did when it came to confessing to being non-empathetic to the situation and being very deceitful and sabotaging you and laughing about it and doing it all for status, and that's the honest to God truth. When all you were doing was speaking your truth. And the divine gave you a gift to be able to do so. And when I say a gift, I mean, the divine could have gave you a platform, but the divine gave you a voice, and the voice of reason and truth. These people, I feel like they're upset now because they pissed off because they was promised something here. Okay, so they collaborated for status, and that's the honest to God truth. But I don't feel they got something that they were supposed to have received. Somebody is now curious because it was like, you bragged about doing an injustice to someone. Finding out that many of them are lustful. Somebody found out that somebody was lustful as well. That's why I just told you about them men that was, trying to proposition you and stuff and all this and that. And you probably was like, I'm good, but you were being good out of being guided to be that. Being guided to be that. You just wasn't in that lustful energy. You wasn't in that greedy, lustful, promiscuous energy. Somebody thought that they were going to get some sort of gifts, possibly of lust from you. That's what it was. Ooh, I know I didn't hear that, spirit. What? Yeah, somebody thought you was going to come running to them, throwing yourself at them, begging them, needing them. That's what they thought. I'll be damned. Yeah, asking them for a big favor. And they were going to be either a big favor or a small favor, but it had everything to do with the past and your journey and your future, possibly even your health. These were envious impostors. They were obligated to do something pertaining to your career that ended up in some bad news for them. Yes, they going through a mirror effect right now. Yeah. Look, they saying, I'm sorry. They want your support. Yeah, well, I don't know, family. No, I'm kidding. Do what you want to do. Shoot, I ain't here to tell you not to. You know what I mean? But hey, it's up to you. But yeah, these energies now, they want to come in friendly with a real big favor to ask pertaining to the past and their greed. Yeah, because it had, and it could be a small favor too, but it had a lot to do with your journey. Yeah. And the future now that they're looking at looks bleak. Yeah, some of them could be in bad health right now. They could be having some health issues behind this, behind their envy. And their imposter syndrome they had going on. Yeah, they felt obligated to do this. They could have been part of a cult. It had something to do with your career, and it was all bad news from there. Wow. Now they're going through this mirror effect. Now they're seeking support. They want to come in and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this bad plan to distract you and throw a lot of negative energy your way. I'm sorry. Now they want some closure. Now they want to say, I'm sorry. Well, okay. We heard you. Next. That is the energy. Next, yeah. And at the bottom of the deck, yeah. The feeling's mutual. It's like, yeah, not a problem. We saw you, and we're moving on. And we're moving on. That's the energy. Look. Because look, and it was stuck. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. There. Okay. Confirmation. Okay. Yeah. They see you're not in despair. Whatever it was, they wanted you to be in despair. You're not in despair. Matter of fact, you're moving on. Since despair wanted to stay with that deck. I heard that, spirit. Okay. Let's get Kipper on it. Hold on. Let me shuffle first. I don't know if it's just me, but I go from big cards to little cards. They feel small, small. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay. Tell me more about this message, Spirit, please, and thank you. What else about this message, if anything, from the Kipper deck? We don't have to use it. Yeah, I guess that's the only thing, family. At the bottom of the deck, yeah, you got people in their thoughts. Because you're not in despair. So now they're in their thoughts. I heard you. So what is the whole thing? They're saying sorry, it's accepted, we're moving on. That's the done data. What else do we need to know about this energy and this message? Yeah. Somebody knows that you're a deep diver and you do dive into the tasks. Or they learned. Yep, they learned that they were in a lost space, needing direction. Dang. Yep, the eye of the needle. It was intentionally done. Whatever they did, it was done intentionally. Okay. And many of you are resonating with this energy. You could be 61, you could be 36, or 61, 36. We have 10 out here, 9 out here, 17, and 7. You could have been born on the 10th, the 9th, the 17th of any month, the 16th of any month. Life path number 9, life path number 8, life path number 10, life path number 7. What else about this message, Spirit? I heard that too. So I feel like there's some egos that are being checked right now. Yeah. Because you closed the door on circumstances, situations, people, places, and things. And that was a completion of a cycle. Okay. Yep. You're the benefactor. Grace and generosity. That's what it's all about. You're the benefactor behind a very nasty situation that may have gone on for years. For some of you, it went on for 36 years, 17 years, 10 years. For someone, it's gone on for 61 years. Yeah. And at the bottom of the deck, this stranger once again is curious. They are curious about how you became so teachable. Wow. And Spirit said, in the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. So in the perfect storm, you found the courage to step into life. Wow. Yep. Because you have the eyes of the eagle raising above the fray. So even when you're hit with a bunch of negative stuff, family, you still be like, okay, not a problem. And this person right now is like, okay, yes. Okay, at 22, 28 and counting. So I'm going to leave that message here. All right. Take it how it resonates. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. I am truly grateful. Let's close out. I release the weight of the matrix, deception, and betrayal. I stand rooted in my truth. I call back my power, my light, and my peace. I am whole, I am becoming, and so it is. Ashe. And until next time, I want you to have a magnificent day. Ashe.